Hi, welcome to Live Dungeons and Dyslexia. My name's Adrian, and I'm joined by the incredibly special guest, Davis Chenault from Troll Lord Games. Tell me I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, you did pronounce it correctly. Yes.
Fantastic. Sorry we're late. We've actually just spent the last 20 minutes laughing about lots of stuff and just generally messing around before we got going.
I did. You asked me earlier. You asked me how to pronounce the name Chenault, right? So in the South we say Chenault. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I remember when I went to Canada and I was at the border, and the lady doing the thing took my passport and asked me my name. I said Davis Chenault, and she looked at me with a cockeyed, mean look and said, "That is not how you pronounce your name. It's Chenault." And I was like, "Okay."
We're exactly the same because we use a lot of French in the language. I wouldn't have pronounced the T. I wouldn't have put the T in it at all.
No, most people do. Like, no one in Europe would, naturally. Anyone.
No, but as we were saying off camera, as dyslexic, American is a far better use of the language than English because everything's phonetic, like aluminum. That makes sense. I can spell that because I know what letter goes where. Aluminium.
Although I have to say, aluminium sounds so much cooler.
Yes, yeah. We get that lieutenant thing that goes on quite a lot because obviously we have to say lieutenant over here, and my children will say lieutenant, and then we have to correct them because you can't pronounce things wrong, especially when you're going into like exams and things like that. It is one of those weird things.
Wait, why do you say lieutenant?
Because we get beaten by our sergeants if we don't. It's just how it's said. It's how it's said over here. And it's our language, and we created it. So
yeah, but I wonder where that originated from.
Well, go on.
We say lieutenant, and
which makes sense. Yeah.
But the French would say lieutenant or lieutenant.
Yeah. Because you don't go for a we in the left, do you? You go in the loo. It's just it is utterly. It's like the Louvre is spelt very similar. I'm going to blame the French, maybe.
It could be the French. Yeah. Let's just blame the French.
Yeah, it's the easiest thing. We'll just blame them. So it's actually amazing to catch you up. We were saying before we came on, this has been my most requested interview. And I've had people badgering me since. Well, I actually picked up your books, the new reforged versions of the books. You can see some of the older ones on the back, which I want to come on to a little bit later, because it's a little bit baffling. The one edition, but they're all slightly different for new people coming in. So it'd be nice to sort of cover that one off. But so I picked them all up on a drive-through RPG discount thing, and I posted them up as I was heading towards a little convention. And that's when the comment started with, "When are you getting in for an interview? We want to see you review these books." And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then the months went by, and then I sent an email and then Grace responded. And I was like, right, can I get an interview in? And then, but I think this was September. I was backwards and forwards, Grace. And this was November was the first time we could actually get together. So I had to be telling people, it's coming. Bear with me. I'm not making it up.
Yeah, that was me. I delayed the initial interview, and I cannot. Oh, because I was supposed to be out of country.
Yeah. No, you looked at my subscriber numbers and went, "Nah, the guy's a weirdo. I'm not going on his channel."
And I'm also, and I get to this point too where I'm sort of reluctant to make a commitment time-wise to anything, especially like. So I think Grace set this up like 2 months ago. I think 60 days ago.
Yeah, something like
something like that. And she gave me the date and the time, and I was like, how can I possibly know? I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow afternoon. How can I possibly know where I'm going to be on this date? Blah, 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 blah. But anyway.
Yeah, see, you're completely different to me because whether it's the dyslexia or the ADHDs or whatever isms my wife tells me I have, my diary and my day is timed to exactly what I'm doing. And I'm diarised out now till February next year. And that's
You're kidding me.
No, that's interviews and live plays, as well as some of my professional work, my main job. I'm rigid with diary management. My wife hates it. I know.
I really wish. Okay, so I just came across this the other day because I actually need something like that, diary management or something like that, to control my time because I'll be sitting here, blah blah blah. Like I'll get bored with something and then I'll wander off and like to clear my head, and the next thing I know, it's like 3 hours later. I'm like, well, there went my day. Something like that. So I've tried this before where I would sit down. I get up in the morning and I get up early. I get up like 2 a.m., and I start working, right? But I started trying to make a schedule for my day, every hour, commit this hour to this, this hour to this, this hour to this, this hour to this. And when it works, it actually works really, really well. When you commit yourself and do that, I found out you can get a lot done when you do that. Quit just moving around. But I found this, I think it's Japanese origin. And I don't really know what it is, but it's a diary management system. It's a time management system where, you write down everything that you need to get done and get accomplished during these times and stuff like that. But they have it's like a whole book that's designed to help you manage that time. What is that called? I can't remember.
Is it Kaizen?
Yes, that's it. Yes, that's it. And I was like, I need to get one of those books. And then what I would do is just put it aside somewhere.
Get it to prop up a table or a chair. Properly.
I can't get organized enough to organize myself.
No. I drive my wife mad because this is a terrible confession now. I use 2 towels a week, so showers and stuff. I have a fresh towel on a Wednesday and a fresh towel on a Saturday because I'm clean, and I can't change my towel any other day. I'm still using this. Yeah, I'm still using the same toothbrush for about. It was before COVID. I bought my last toothbrush. I won't have a new one. My wife keeps trying to buy me one, and I don't want one because I like mine.
That's funny because I have like 6 toothbrushes in there. I go through toothbrushes like crazy. I just use them up for like a week and then I'm like, you're done. I'm out. Get a new toothbrush.
I like them to be comfortable in my mouth. Like when you have socks and they're starting to wear out.
Yes.
You want new ones. That's my toothbrush. That is my toothbrush.
I'm the only person I know that still darns socks.
What is darning the sock?
Sewing up the holes and everything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I keep my socks. I love the certain socks that I have. I love socks.
Yeah.
So I will keep them. And if they get a hole in them, I sew them back up so I can continue to use the sock.
Do you ever find, do you ever wear odd socks? I'm guessing you're not an odd sock wearing man.
No, I do. Yeah. Occasionally if I can't put them together. It's not a pet peeve, I should say.
Yeah.
But I do like my socks. I do. It's one of my things. We all have a thing.
Yeah.
For whatever. And see, that's all I wear is socks too. I don't wear shoes hardly at all.
I've just got an image of you just walking around the house in just a pair of socks.
Yes, just a pair of socks.
And you've just put a top on just for me. So all you've got on now is nothing else. Just the socks.
Yeah, I'm naked except for socks and a shirt. I did put on a clean shirt for you.
That's good. Yeah. Keeping it PC for YouTube, though. I'm glad. Just don't stand up and don't walk to your bookshelf.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're wearing the sock like Chili Peppers style, that's absolutely fine.
Oh yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. So do you work from home now? You pretty much exclusively at home? Yeah. That's fantastic.
I think I exclusively started working from home about 6 years ago, and that has its upside and its downside. I'll tell you. The downside is that you're at home all the time, right? And that sounds great and awesome until you've been at home for 6 years and you're like, holy! I texted Kent the other day. I was like, dude, I'm thinking about renting an office downtown, just like a 10 by 10 space, so you get out of the house and just go work in an office or something like that, But
would you want the commute again?
No.
Did you enjoy it? Yeah.
No. I hate driving so much.
Yeah.
it's so, everyone in America has a car, and everything in America is like 100 miles from you, right? So no one thinks about getting in the car for like 30 minutes to an hour every day to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, when I get in the car, if I have to spend more than like 3 minutes in a car, my temperature starts to go up. I'm like, I'm wasting my life. I'm wasting my life.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I've worked from home now. I think it's nearly 15 years, and then obviously COVID kicked in, and it's changed the way we worked, because I always used to go and see people face to face. Now I don't leave the house. So I do YouTube from home, I run my businesses from home, and everything's over Teams. And so the other day, my daughter went to the gym, and I was like, how are you getting home? Because it's dark here at sort of like 4 o'clock. And she went, can you pick me up, Dad? As they do.
Yeah.
And I'm driving in the dark going, this is really weird. I do about 3,000 miles a year now. That's it. My car's 7-8 years old. It's done 42,000 miles.
Wow. Yeah.
It's practically brand new. It's not even really been broken in. But yeah, driving in the dark, I was like, when you're just driving, going, this is cozy. I could just shut my eyes. And it was only a 10-minute drive.
I could shut my eyes. I'm going to take a nap right now. I'm out.
Yeah. And it's one of those Teslas that flies by itself. But...
Yeah, I'm not into the driving thing, but not anymore. And that's because, when I used to travel a lot, and I also worked as an archaeologist, right? And I would just take jobs where I could get them, and they were often from one end of the country to the next, doing surveys, and there's seasonal work too. So you get jobs in New England during the summer, and then you're in the Southwest by, winter, and then just all over the place. So I think, I got a new truck in 1994. And by 1999, it was a Ford Explorer Sport 4-wheel drive. It was a really nice freaking vehicle. I put 350,000 miles on that thing in like 8 years. And I was like, that's what I realized. I think I'm spending way too much time in the car.
Yeah, that's a lot. So you've just broke. I'm trying to keep an eye on all the comments and stuff as well. But so actually, let us know in the comments below if you can beat Davis's 350,000 miles on a car, because 318 you've lost already.
Oh yeah.
So there's the challenge. Yeah, I renewed my insurance. They went, how many miles did you do? And between last year and this year, because obviously we have like what's called an MOT, so you get an annual check for your car, but it actually lists your mileage. I did 2,300 miles. So when I put that in for my insurance, it almost made my insurance free, because I don't go anywhere.
Really?
Yeah. It almost halved from what I paid last year.
Wow, that is cool. I wish we could do that here. I wish they'd do that here.
Yeah, because yours is all weird, isn't it? Well, we think it's weird because it's just different.
No, it's weird.
So, no. You get 15 years, 65,000 miles. So that's that. Yeah. They didn't drive a lot. So I have got my obligatory question, because so whenever I meet anyone new, one of the things I always have in my mind is how you first got into the hobby. What was your first sort of gaming experience?
The first gaming experience, so pre-D&D?
Whatever it was.
Yeah, the first game, it was with my dad. He had these, and I don't really know why he had them, but it's a game called Battleship, right? And it was put out by, and it's not the Battleship where you guess the number or whatever,
right?
You're plinking back and forth. It was a board game with these metal pieces laid out like a grid. What is that game from? It's a Norwegian game, Scandinavian game that goes back 1,000+ years, called Kings or something like that.
Right. Yeah. I know what you mean. I can't think what it's called. Someone in the comments is bound to just know, because that's the great thing about the internet.
Oh yeah, no, because there's always someone out there who knows.
Or they're all Googling like mad, so they know.
But there's okay, and I can't remember the company. I actually have the game next door. I could run get it, but it'd take me like 5 minutes to get it, so I won't. But it had these metal pieces, and what it was basically that Scandinavian game translated and just renamed Battleship. It was basically the same rules where you move these little metal pieces around on the board, trying to get your battleship out of this position. And my dad also enjoyed playing chess, so I would play chess with him. And so he after he came back from Vietnam, he got assigned to teach at the Command General Staff College in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, right? And this is where the wargaming started, okay? And because they wargamed a lot at the college, a lot of war games, right? These big, huge military war games with stuff. And when he first took me to one of these wargaming places, like where they set up battle maps for Europe, right? And I walk into this room and I was like, holy cow, this is the most badass shit I've ever seen in my life. There's like these teeny hundreds and thousands of these teeny tiny little metal tanks and APCs and half tracks and stuff that they would move around on these boards, you know, and then all these dice and all these configurations and stuff that they were playing to do these games, right? And I was hook, line, and sinker. I was done. I was into board games like madness from that moment on, right? Yeah. And this is in the early 70s. And so we played, so Steve and I, my dad didn't play war games too much because he did it professionally and he didn't want to do it at home. Chess was fine. But Steve and I would play these war games, right? And that was the introduction into my first gaming thing. And I was sold hook, line, and sinker. I freaking loved those old war games. Those big, huge maps with thousands of chits and moving them around on the board and stuff like that. Really, really cool. And then one of his lieutenants realized or become aware that I really enjoyed wargaming and stuff. Well, one of his lieutenants had actually purchased the brown box, the D&D brown box, right? And had played it a little bit and decided he didn't want it and gave it to my mom to give to me for Christmas. And I was like, and that was the avenue through which I got into D&D too.
Yeah. That's amazing. Is that why we'll probably jump onto it in a bit, is because obviously if your dad sat down those games with you and your brother, then obviously, you know, you formed that. So did you then start role playing alongside with your brother as well? Did sort of all like college and school years?
Yeah, no, this is in, oh my God, how old were we? 12, 13, I think at this point. Now, I'm going to lay this out front. My memory can get hazy and the timelines can get mixed up. Okay, so I'll get things out of order, you know, and sometimes they won't be quite accurate, but I will say it was in the mid to early 70s that we were wargaming, right? And then the brown box came in, and during that time, so SPI released the Lord of the Rings board game, right? So all this, I can't, because the timeline, it was a long time ago, and the timeline's really confusing. All these games were just coming into my life all of a sudden, right? And my brother enjoyed playing war games, really enjoyed playing them. And then I roped him into D&D one night, right? But I had no idea what I was doing. All right. Nobody did. None of us did. But I roped him in one night. But he was dead set against playing, you know, at first he was dead set against it until he played one game. And he's like, I love this stuff. Because I told him to read the rules, and he didn't want to read the rules. He literally wanted nothing to do with any rules. So, but I got him into it. And then we played together for years and years and years. We also, you know those little toy soldiers and stuff?
The lead ones that you're not allowed to suck, but we probably
right. We used to have tons of toy soldiers, and we would war game with those too. We would set them up in big, huge army packs, and then we'd take our BB guns and shoot at each other. Well, shoot at the soldiers, but
I always wanted someone to play with to do that because it always looked amazing. But I didn't get into role playing. It was about 90. I think I would, like you say, it's a bit fuzzy. I think it was 92-ish. And we was just saying off camera because when you were talking about the old D&D stuff, and Heathen started with Vampire the Masquerade. we did a little bit of Dark Sun, and I could not wrap my head around THAC0. Yes. And even today, if you tried to explain THAC0 to me, like the offside rule in football or soccer, as you call it over there, I don't. My brain just shuts down. I go, I don't get THAC0. I don't get THAC0, and I panic. But I love Dark Sun as the world. But
Dark Sun's a really good, really good setting. That's a really super enjoyable setting to play in.
Yeah.
THAC0, I'm 100% with you on half THAC0. I literally have to math it out every time. I can't. It doesn't go into my head. It won't fit. It just doesn't, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And it's an elegant system. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying it just didn't work with me. It just, I don't know. The offside rule, I do understand. I played soccer enough to.
Yeah.
What I don't understand, though, on the offside rule, is how the refs can call it. You know how difficult it would be to, see that person's ahead of that last person when that ball is kicked? That's a really tight call that you have to make. I mean, sometimes it's clear, but other times it's like, I don't know about that.
It's because football's completely and utterly corrupt, and the thing that we're all learning with VAR is it's blatantly obvious now, because what they do is like American football, you have all your pauses. You can make a 1 hour game last 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Soccer's become like that in this country, where every decision's now being officiated. So the ref will stop, he'll run off to the side of the pitch. They'll have a VAR ref. They'll look at a screen, replay it, show different angles to decide. And every goal is now assessed. That we're now seeing sort of 10, 15 minutes worth of injury time at the end of a game. Games, and they're not 90 minutes anymore. They can be 100, 105 minutes. It's utterly boring and ridiculous. Okay. So there was a goal this weekend where this is where offside blurs with me. A player was stood in front of the goalkeeper, moved at the last minute, and apparently he wasn't interfering. That's interfere. If you're in front of the goalkeeper and he can't see it coming, but I generally don't care about football anymore. I've lost interest in sport.
I remember and I love soccer. I played in Germany. I grew up playing. Anyway, I love soccer. But I remember the last World Cup that I watched, that I had the opportunity to sit down and watch every single freaking game that I could, was the one that Zinedine Zidane played in. Remember the headbutt?
Yeah, 98 or 2000. No, it might have been 2004, where he just
2004. It was yeah. That was the last time I actually had a good clean slate to watch the World Cup. The next couple I watched, I was busy, but I did get to see them, but I was busy. Yeah. But now the World Cup has come here, and the cost of tickets is just like, I'm just buying a new house.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go. The tickets are so high. I did not know that about the officiating, though, that they were doing the VR and stopping the games and stuff.
Yeah, it's slow. It is slow. I just want to scroll back to a question that where's the question gone? Oh man, here we go. From Fastian Raced, I think that is. So do you want me to read it out? Sorry.
I can't see it.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying to read it, and I don't have my glasses on. What am I doing?
Right. How do you feel about VTT? And do you feel Troll Lord Games should place more emphasis on VTT? There are not many of us out there who are physical players, but we are loyal and we buy everything.
I like the VTT. When they first started developing too, I was really like gung ho. We need to pursue this like madness, right? I can't remember the Gen Con where that guy came up with that stuff. Anyway, yeah, I love the VTT. I think they're turned into a problem is getting the development. So all the rules have to be converted or put into these programs or whatever. I don't really. Chuck was in charge of all that, and it was just turning into a huge time sump. So we pulled off doing that. Now volunteers have stepped in and helped us. I don't know on which platforms they've done it to help us. But then there was also this explosion of platforms, and to keep up with each platform was I mean, each one being different, blah, 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 blah. It was just like a little bit too much. Now, I personally feel that VTTs, I mean, a lot of people have said they're just going to go away. They're not going to go away. They're here to stay, and they will continue to grow. And it will be, I think, the way the vast majority of players play in the future.
Yeah.
I don't think I cannot envision a future where the majority of players are sitting down in a house and playing, especially so people like you and me who enjoy playing the game, but we reach that age where there's tons of other responsibilities. Getting everyone together at a certain time is very difficult. And as jobs and children show up and people move around and stuff like that, getting together becomes astronomically difficult, if not impossible. So VTT has just like shut that down so that people can gather around, their virtual tabletop. And I think that's the way that the majority of people will play. And I would love for us to put more effort into it. I know it keeps coming up. I'm just not sure which platform we're focusing on at this point. I'd have to ask Chuck. I could get on and ask Chuck. He might be.
That is the problem, because I've been very much into Roll20 because that's the one I've used.
Right.
But then you try out Foundry and Forge, and I think they're the same for some bizarre reason. I don't quite get how it all works. I'm not a very technical person. Again, being a man of a certain age, it means that you struggle to even read instructions. But there's more and more coming out all the time. But I do think that one of the beautiful things on Roll20 is the fact that one of my best mates actually creates character sheets for games.
Yes. I think it's Roll20. Yes.
Yeah. So, like, for example, we were playing Horde Wars Advanced, which isn't on there. And because, like you say, I think VTTs are essential for the hobby. I think they've been a lifesaver for a lot of people for mental health, for getting, staying in contact with friends and just finding new friends and new groups and getting new people in. It's been absolutely wonderful. And the community, just because what Roll20 does is it will allow people just to create characters. So I've got two groups, and I've had the same groups now for over 35 years. We're all six of us, all been messmates that sort of came together through role playing. But some have moved away. So we have the Sunday group is VTT. Sundays face to face, Tuesdays VTT. And I don't know which I prefer. I love that actually seeing people's faces and laughing and joking around a physical table.
Yeah.
But I also then love the fact that the computer does all the heavy lifting. Take Warhammer Fantasy Role Playing, my favorite game in the world. I would never play that physically.
Really?
No, it's just too much effort working out the success levels and everything else. First edition is absolutely fine. That didn't have the success levels that Fourth has got.
No,
I love the mohawks on the first edition covers.
Oh yeah,
is it the orc with the black and white mohawk?
Yeah, it's an orc with the black and white mohawk.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
It's funny you play Warhammer because this is like what I would consider like I have like 5 RuneQuest, this Rollmaster as one of the essential books in game design. Yeah. And in addition to actually loving this game, I love Warhammer. I love it to death.
The lore, the world, the grittiness, just how horrible it is. You know, there aren't many games that you get the impression when you just walk around and you're just in mud constantly. Your feet are wet, everything's damp, it's uncomfortable. There's worms in your food. That's Warhammer.
Yeah. But you couldn't play. Yeah, I guess. Okay, that's a good point though. So this was interesting. So VTT, you could take say roll for whatever, whatever. Let's just say a program that runs the games for you. And it just occurred to me while you were talking, it does all that heavy lifting, which means that as a game designer, you could actually build metric tons more complexity into a game.
Yeah.
So that but the players and the person running the game wouldn't have to do the mathematical lifting and all the chance making, whatever. The computer could do it and give you a more granular game in that way without bogging down the game.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right, so Fastans Chuck told the Foundry community that the discussion would be after con season about the future of VTT and C&C. Has that discussion happened yet? You'll be impressed tonight.
Hey, I'm gonna text Chuck and see where we are in VTT. See if he has anything to say. He's just gonna tell me to shut up. He's gonna be like, "Leave me alone, Davis."
He's gonna go. You can sit on this bullet. I'm not getting involved in this conversation. So, yeah. See, again, this is a prime example for VTT Pathfinder 2nd edition, or whether you play 2nd or revised edition. There's just too much going on in Pathfinder to be able to play it. I love playing Pathfinder. I'd never run it again. I tried a campaign on the revised edition. And those stat blocks, they're beautiful unless you've got to run multiple creatures as a games master in a night. It's just so complicated.
It's information overload, I think, and it can slow down a lot of games. Now, there are people who really enjoy that. There's a lot, obviously, who really enjoy that type of game and love doing the math and all that stuff, and that's fine. I sort of walked out of that. I think heavy lifting wise or like complexity wise, Rolemaster was the last game that was super complex for me. And then I just like, I can't.
Do you want my rather embarrassing Rolemaster story?
Yeah.
I'd never ran a game before, and obviously I'd played Vampire the Masquerade and varieties. And so I wanted to play a game. I wanted to run a game none of my friends had ever picked up. So I bought Rolemaster. That was my first experience as a games master.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Everyone has that reaction. They're like, really? Out of all the games you could have picked in the world in like 1993, you went with Rolemaster. And I had that. It's the red box set where you had the separate arms law and the magic law, and all those. There was a table for every weapon.
Yeah. Yes, the weapons law. That's funny because you could have started out with tunnels and trolls or something super simple.
Yeah. or even MERP, which was the
same.
Yeah,
even MERP. Yeah.
There was so many. Let's say better choices.
Yeah, Rolemaster would be at the bottom of the list for starters.
Yeah. I also didn't know how to prep, so I ran it ended up being about 2 or 3 months campaign just in my head.
Really?
Yeah. I killed a player in the first session.
Hey, no, you didn't kill the player. The dice killed the player.
Yeah. No, he killed himself because they were going to. There was a castle with a moat around it, and I heavily hinted there was like tentacles coming out. There's going to be an octopus or something giant in the thing. So the other players worked a different way of getting to the castle, and this guy decided to fight it. There was no reason to fight it. Like, he's just rolling dice and go, right, you're now dead. It's just...
Yeah, they got to learn. They got to learn when to run. They got to know, instinctively know it.
They just don't, do they? Some players, but I generally think that is a thing, especially if you've played a chunk of 5e. Players never run in 5e. That they always seem to go, it'll be fine because death saves and variety of other stuff that's going to come out. So.
Well, there goes. That's a. There. Yeah, you got on two different. I think two different things there. One, you get your death saves, or whatever. All these little mechanical things that can prevent death, right? The short rest, healing boosts, and all that. Everything, right? That started. That type of rules, I think, started with 3E, and it just exploded. It just exploded. So you have protection for characters, so they have to fear less. And there was also a great deal of concern about balancing encounters, right? So that the encounters weren't overwhelming for the characters.
Yeah.
Okay. And they can take them on, even play. Now, this goes into a very interesting approach to the game. And I don't know if I'm going to get this correct or not. So, but coming from like an older school type of play, this wasn't everybody. This is a type of play. It's how I play, is that I didn't care what level the characters were, right? It was random. The power of the monsters, everything was random, and I left it up to the players to figure out when they should run or not. Are you going to confront this, group of 100 bandits, or are you going to just ignore, go away, do something else? And they would figure out very quickly in a completely random world where the power of the encounter can vary significantly, that they were really judicious in how they play, right? So, which is a type of play. So I cannot remember, so someone correct me, but I do believe that, so Gary's approach, so that's like a role playing. That's like a metagaming way of approaching the game. You just create encounters, and they should figure out that tentacle monster. He should have known, you should have guessed, the Cthulhu's crawling under the ground. Go somewhere else. Do something else, right? So, but they got to learn that. So that's a style of play that has nothing to do with the rules, okay? But I think that Gary, I don't know exactly. I read an article recently, and it sort of made sense. That Gary was more on the side of leveling the playfield so that it would be an interesting game, right?
Yeah.
So not to make it completely uneven or something. I could be wrong on that, I think. So, but anyway, there's different trajectories the way the rules work, and then play styles went, And very early on too, there were also play styles where people would level out the encounter. You didn't want to overwhelm the characters. I never played that way. I didn't care, and if you didn't enjoy my game, you just don't show up. I don't care. I mean, I have to enjoy running it as well. I mean, I'm not like horrible about it, but it's like.
No, I'm completely with you on that. I don't make balanced encounters. I just make encounters. I heavily try to influence it, but I do open rolls, and I use open rolls so the players can work out what they're fighting. Because take your system or any D20 roll over, and you put a creature in there, and they go, "Okay, you're going to hit." So, and you roll a 6, and you go, "That's 18," and they go, "You what? Plus 12 to hit?" Okay, that's what he's got. So they instantly go, actually, this probably is something that we should have walked away from, as opposed to charging down the hill where something, this big bear was asleep. It's. I just want to thank Maya Trumpet has struck. So thank you for that membership. Thanks for that. But I'm kind of getting this vibe off your game to say I've been asked to cover and review Castles and Crusades for quite a while now. So I've spent a good chunk of today not working properly, reading through your books, and I do get that wonderful old sort of feel with them, which is why I think everyone kind of said that I would like them, if that makes sense. Because you've got that wonderful D20 rollover, which is nice and simple. Unless I've misread it, there's no skills in it. It's all based off your attributes for rolling stuff. It's nice and clear. You get to add your levels to all the rolls. The only weird wiggle is whether it's a skilled attribute or non, whatever it is, where you get the +6, or so you get 12 or 18, isn't it? Or you get 3 of them as a human. So, and I was like, that seems quite cool. I just think, why not just give it a +6? Because then I don't have to remember the 12 or 18. That was my only thought as I went through that, because I like clear, easy stuff.
No, I do too. And this was a discussion way back in 2003, whether we should do the straight +6 or the 12-18.
Yeah.
And the discussion ended up, so simply put, basically with a prime attribute, you get a +18 is a target number for success.
Yeah.
Everything's attribute based. If it's a prime attribute, you get +6 to your roll, plus the other things, level and stuff like that. If it's not a prime attribute, you get what, +3 to your roll? No, nothing to your roll. Anyway, so that's that, right? So it would seem to me the simplest way to explain it is to say with a prime attribute, you get +6 to your roll.
Yeah.
Right. Now, then came the discussion of player facing versus GM facing. And then the discussion about, what was it called? There's a thing in gaming where it's not just gaming, it's in gaming, gambling, all kinds of stuff like this, right? Where you want to create a clear distinction between two things, right?
Yeah.
A very, very, very clear distinction between the capacity of this and the capacity of that. So, and this was me at the end of the day coming to the conclusion after reading several psychology articles on this whole kind of stuff, is that the distinction of 1218 was superior than just saying +6. Although +6 is a simpler explanation, the 1218 creates that distinction in the head so that you know those numbers are pretty far apart, right? And you can math that out in your head because they're instinctive numbers. They're baseline instinctive numbers to work with, or percentages to work with in your head. So yeah, no, the +6 would have been the easiest method, easiest method of explaining it. And it is explained in that way in the CKG as one of the ways to better explain it to players.
Yeah, I just want to thank Agile for his incredibly generous gift. So, in honor of the amazing, charismatic Davis Chenault, I panicked over your name then. Notice that. Like, is going to get right. And the wonderful Grace is in the chat. Troll Lord Games and Castles Crusades, my second favorite TTRPG of all times. Love you folks. And TLG loves veterans. UNS. So, no, thank you for that. That's incredibly kind.
That applies to veterans in the UK too, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been reading it. So the one question that instantly sprung to mind is because I bought a bundle. So it was a secondhand bundle that someone was selling, which is, as you can see here, so this player's guide, which they obviously knew the reforged version was coming out because they were getting rid of all this. And then within a week, I posted it on my channel and they went, "You haven't got the latest version." I was going, "What do you mean latest version?" And then there was that. So, I was done. I really was done. But the impression I get is that there's one edition. So all editions pretty much. So it doesn't matter which one you've got. I have got all the reforged PDFs, as I said. But that seems mechanically, it seems to be practically still the same game, isn't it? It's been the same game since 2000. Was it 2004 this came out?
Yeah, 2004 it came out. And hold on just a second.
The comments are splitting in between +6 and 12 and 18. So yeah. So
this is the one I use. Okay.
Yeah.
And this was published in, I think it was 2006, maybe. So third printing. I do believe this is the third printing. But none of the rules have changed. I mean, we had to adjust the Ranger, I think, and the Barbarian, the Monk, all were adjusted over the years, right? Yeah. But the basic rules to play Castles and Crusades have not changed since 2004. Exact same thing. So any edition of the book that you can buy, the rules are still the same. There are clarifications that are added. I mean, some of the spells they're made more clear. I think some are powered up, powered down, whatever. But essentially, nothing really has changed in the 24 years. The system is still the same. And all of those additions, they're just reprints. I mean, they're reprints, and we go through and edit and clean text, maybe add some spells and stuff like that. So, for example, if you look at the books behind you, they're pretty thick. And this one's, you know, this was my goal point, 124 pages.
I must say, this was in my bundle. I do like the look of this.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
I'm thinking of doing a video on campaigns I will never actually play, and it's not. It's just I'm not going to live long enough. That's the problem.
Well,
You
that's
know, do you know what I mean? Because you pick up stuff like this and you read it and you go, what a really good, interesting campaign. And you go, okay, now where am I going to? I'm 51 next week, so I've probably got 20 years left before So I need to try and get to that old people's home and live in an old people's home full of other people that want to role play, because then we can just fully hit the campaigns. But yeah, it's what I think it's probably the saddest part of this hobby is buying campaigns, reading campaigns, and going, that's brilliant, but I'll never play it.
Oh yeah, no, and I don't know how many times I've done that. And I remember, like, even for like Warhammer Fantasy role playing, right? So Shadows over Bokhofen, I think, was the first.
Yeah, first part of the Enemy Within campaign.
Yeah, so I ran the whole Enemy Within campaign, got through that. I think and I don't remember the timeline. They started publishing a few others. It's not many that they've published over the years. That I recall, but then I remember picking one up and reading it, and I was like, I don't have enough players. There's no one plays this that I know anymore. I won't be able to play this campaign.
Yeah. Falling back to VTTs, it's where VTTs are really handy. And so I've got the whole of the Enemy Within campaign, and we've started the second book because I ended up buying all the modules on Foundry because it just does. Cubicle 7, their modules are really good. Remember this. Put that on VTT, and then people can just upload it. So it takes all the pressure away. The downside is I said this a couple of years ago. We are in probably the best time to be in this hobby, and this year feels like the best time to be in the hobby. And I think with what's coming out next year, we are just ever having more and more amazing games coming out. But you do this really weird curveball that is the fact that your system stays constant. Because if you look at, we were saying before we went on camera, it's like all the CNC fans will be the same. They won't argue. D&D, there's 5 editions, and like even to state like 3 and 3.5 might not actually get on because they agree that 3.5 is slightly better. Everyone hates fourth. Fourth is the ginger-headed stepchild. That's fine. It's okay to hate on that one. But I've actually gone back to fourth, and I've gone, actually, I think there's a fair amount of good in here. I just wasn't ready to play that type of game, if that makes sense.
It totally does. And I know that 4th edition gets a lot of shade, and I read the rules, but I never played 4th edition. It's a good rule set, and it establishes a very certain specific type of play, which is fine. It's a perfect rule set for that type of play. It was not my thing. Maybe I would like it now. I don't know. I would never run it I couldn't imagine a circumstance under which I would run it. But I would play it if someone, would just tell me everything that I need to do. If I could just go into a game and say, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah. I don't need to know the math. I don't want to know anything. I'm not going to juggle those numbers. I'm just not going to do that stuff anymore. And that's where VTTs, if the whole VTT thing, see, it's sort of like on VTTs, it's sort of like the flower that never blooms. It keeps promising to bloom. What's that one cactus that blooms once every 50 years? But it never seems to it's not easy enough for fluid transmission, right. But it's got all the promise to do it, right? But it's just, I think when you got down into the technical part of it, it's just sort of so. But I don't know. But the Undying War, no, that would be one of those campaigns, yeah. And that there's more to that. The Undying War. We got the Dungeons of Abstract coming out after that, and that's another book that size that's all dungeons, if not larger. But the Undying War can be played in parts and pieces. It's got some fun stuff in it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice to pick up. I think I'm gonna have to go because of Cult of the New. I'm probably gonna have to pick up the Reforged books now as well because I don't need them. But the big thing I did notice with that player's guide, because that only takes up to level 10 or 12.
12.
Where with the Reforged ones, it's got all
Goes
the
to-
a lot of extra stuff in there.
Oh, yeah. We moved that stuff over.
But for a complete novice, I don't think I need the Games Masters book. You must be one of the first ones I've ever seen where it seems like, to me, from looking at your 3 core books, really only it's the Player's Guide and the Monster Manuals, the core ones. And the Dungeon Masters just adds a lot of extra sort of alternative skills and all the world building is in there. But...
Okay, you only really need the Player's Handbook. That's it. Okay. Right. If you've got monster books from virtually any edition, you can convert them on the fly. Okay. Yeah. So when I was sat down to design it, outside of making X game, there were several particular concerns of mine. One was that the game be sort of like a Rosetta Stone. We actually used to call it the Rosetta Stone of gaming. Sort of like a Rosetta Stone. There was going to be able to easily convert to or convert from every edition of D&D going into the past and going into the future. So I was trying to predict exactly where D&D was going to go into the future, where it was in the past, so that you could pull from any direction, because it has a trajectory, right? Yeah. There's an unchanging trajectory in the development, and some things just never change, even though all the fiddly bits change. But so that was one of the goals. So that all those rules be contained within one book. All the rules that you would need would be contained in one book, and that's the Player's Guide. So you don't need the CKG, you don't need the Monster Manual, you don't need the modules, you don't need any of that to play the game. Just the Player's Handbook, and you've got all the rules that you'll ever need to run an infinite number of games if you have like other gaming material that you can draw from.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't have other gaming material, then the MTs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was going, I reckon I could easily convert Castles and Crusades, Dungeon Crawl Classic modules. I think, 3.5 and third edition things are going to be nice and easy to move. But I do love reading and looking at monster manuals because I set one-shots and campaigns off manuals. I'll just read through a monster manual. Do you know what? I want that to be my big bad. That is my campaign, overarching enemy. There is a couple of one-shots from here. Here's actually an encounter that's linked to this. I quite like reading them.
I love monster manuals. I think our monster manual is really, really good. I would say it's better, but everyone is going to have their own opinion. Our take on certain monsters, I think, are way more interesting, but they're more clear cut. So I definitely upsell the monster manual. I would say that's the second book. If you buy a second book, it's the monster manual and not the CKG. What the CKG will provide is a metric ton of gaming advice, a lot of information on running games from like biomes and cities and stuff like that, how to run games. And then it has optional rules at the back. So here was another, like, one of the design goals behind Castles and Crusades was malleability. Okay. So if you have a simple enough rule set to guide your game, it becomes like a building block, like a Toyota engine. You could literally put anything on a Toyota engine and it will work. Boats, motorcycles, cars, planes, whatever. You take that simple, beautiful design and you can add to it whatever without messing up the engine. What's that engine that they made that was so popular? I can't remember. But anyway, so that was the idea behind, one of the ideas behind creating that initial set of rules is that you could add to it and subtract to it and put things on top of it. And what the CKG does is explains how you can do that and gives examples for like running a high fantasy game, low fantasy game, medium fantasy game, if you want skills, this is how you add skills. If you want feats, this is how you add feats. If you want this is how you add this.
Yeah.
All these types of different ways of casting spells, mana points, wounds, all these things, like wounds, for example. From one of my favorite things about Warhammer Fantasy was the wound system, right? So it's like, well, how do we incorporate that? Well, it's in the CKG. That's how you can incorporate it without having to redo the whole system. You just plug this in, pull it out, plug it in, pull it out, plug it in.
So I've just got it on screen now. I've got the contents on screen of it. So so basically I need to spend a lot more time in this, because if you've got wounds, because I always think one of the worst things is hit points. I'm not a massive fan of, you've got 20 hit points, you've got 1 hit point, you're exactly the same. I'm glad you use negative hit points. Because negative hit points make hit points more interesting, because when you just stop at 0, if someone hits you for 400 hit points, and they go, oh yeah, you only take 30 damage, and the 370 means nothing. You're like, really? So I've still got my body; it's still intact, is it?
Yeah, right.
I know it's a little bit more maths, but I think it's quite important to keep with the negative, especially for healing. Because you're going to need more healing spells than that.
Yeah, I think the negative hit points are an important way of. I think it's a necessary component to managing gameplay.
Yeah. So how do your wounds work then? I was hoping to find it in the contents, but
I can't remember off the top of my head because I can't convince anyone to use the wound system, so I don't. I mean, I designed it, but
okay, I'm gonna see if I can find it just while we're still.
I'm looking for my CKG right now. I know I threw it on the floor in a fit of anger the other day.
Yeah, see, Grace sent me the you've got a starter kit, was that the first time you've ever done a starter kit?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Farkas, we had it on the planning board for freaking 10 years and just never got around to it. So Jeremy said, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And he did it.
Has it gone better than expected?
Yeah, it's better than expected. Yeah. I don't know how well starter kits. I'm not sure. So here's this thing. So, when you pick up Castles and Crusades, when someone picks up Castles and Crusades, 99.9% of the time, they've already played a role-playing game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they hear it through the role-playing game community, the TTRPG community. But most games are the same way. I mean, someone just randomly walking into a bookstore now and seeing games fairly rare. They've heard it through D&D, then TTRPG community. Even Shadowdark. I mean, it's built off from within the community. So the question becomes, do you actually need a starter set, right? What's the purpose of a starter set? Is it to bring new people into the hobby who've never been in the hobby, or is it to bring people who are in the hobby into this area again? Yeah. So it's sort of one of those, it's a weird product in a way in that you're not really sure where to market it to, But it did exactly what I wanted it minimally to do, which is to convey the information, the bare minimum information necessary to play the game,
Yeah.
And I think that's a good start for it. I think that's why we call it we went with starter set over various other titles, I should say.
Yeah. I love starter sets. I think, and I know a lot of companies sell them at a loss or at break even at best, because there's a lot goes into them. But I think they are such amazing ways of getting people into a new book. Because people, they'll ask me, because I've said, with Warhammer being my favorite game, they'll go, "Oh, it's a massive book."
Mm-hmm.
And a huge investment. And what happens if people don't go, just go and buy the starter set for 20 quid or probably $25 or whatever.
Yeah.
And see how you get on. You've got an adventure, you get some dice, you get some characters, you get some idea of what's going on in the world. And if you then like that, play it. And if you don't like it, you can sell it, and you'll probably only then lose $5 for what you can sell it for. You might even make your money back. You know, if you pick them up. I think this again, like VTTs, there are some really good tools that we've now got. Because if you think the times when we got into the hobbies, it was like, okay, you've got to go and buy a player's guide, the core rule book, you know, all this other stuff. Okay, it was less money then, but money was worth less, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could buy a loaf of bread for like 2 cents or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, you could go out with $10 and get drunk and still have change.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it is. I think they are such great tools.
I do too. I think overall they are. It's just it's how to get it. It's how to get it into the people you want, get it into their hands. Because you know, you bring up, you know, WFRP or whatever. I keep wanting to say WKRP in Cincinnati, but Warhammer. It's a big book, and the Player's Handbook. Like, if that's your starting thing, I mean, we're up to 350 pages now for the Player's Handbook. That's a lot of.
You can get this one.
Yeah. The older ones aren't, though. And that's why I like the older ones. If you can find a copy on eBay of the 3rd or 4th printing, that's a good printing to get as well.
Yeah, the one you've got is really nice. The cover is really nice on it.
Yes, this is Peter Bradley, who just lives up the road from you. Yeah. He moved to England 10 years ago. He's English, but
right, yeah,
he lived in America, but he moved back to England. Yeah, this is some of Peter's old artwork. I really love his artwork.
It is nice, though, knowing that if anyone wants to get in, they can just pick up any edition. It really doesn't make any difference, you know, because you can always pick stuff on Fleabay for next to nothing for old editions.
Yeah, and if you don't want, like, even if you don't want the starter set, just pick up an old edition of that. And I think they're going. I haven't actually looked in a long time.
Yeah, because I was going to get rid of my player's guide because I was like, right, I've got the Reforged. I'm going to go and buy the Reforged ones because, you know, Colt with the new got to have the. And I thought, actually, no, I can keep this player's guide because when I'm playing physically, I can hand it to someone and they've got something that they can then read at the table as opposed to taking, because I need that because that's the rule book. So
right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's, you know, it's not a full player's guide. It's the rule book and everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it has everything that you'll need to play. Like I said, none of the other books are absolutely necessary to play. You do need monsters, but if you have other gaming books, you want to drag monsters in from 1st edition, basic, 3rd edition, 3.5, 4, 5, and a metric ton of other games out there. I don't remember whose I picked up the other day. And I was like, yeah, I could convert this on the fly. I mean, I wouldn't even have to think about it. I just like.
Do you know what my big hint would be? Wait for one of those 5e 3rd edition humble bundles where for £20 you can go and pick up probably 40 or 50 adventure modules. DCC do them regularly and stuff like that. And even if you print some off, you've got the cost of printing, it's still free. If you can run it off an iPad or off a computer, you're going to pick up 50, 60 modules for $15, $20.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. Those humble bundles are really good. Humble bundles.
Yeah.
They're not very humble. They're big.
No. Yeah. They're ridiculous. And Cubicle 7 always do. It's always my favorite one. So here's one if you're ever going to do one and get good sales off it. They always do, whatever it may be. They'll always have like a 99 cents thing. Like a 10 cents, then 20 cents, depending on, and they always include a 25% discount on if you go and buy something off their main website. So for $1, you can go and buy a 25% discount voucher. So you'd be mad not to just go and do that because any book you're going to buy of them, you've saved more than $1 by getting the 25% off.
I thought about that. That's a good, I don't do those numbers like that. That's a good way of approaching that.
That's my maths brain for you. So I can't do THACO, but I can do discounts.
Yeah, right.
But I'm the man. Another thing that drives my wife mad. If I see something on a website and it's £30, and they go spend £100 to get free shipping, I'll add things till I get to £100 so I can get free shipping.
Yeah,
but I can't stand spending.
Oh, really?
Spending money on shipping. I'll just keep adding stuff.
Yeah. Now they've got you hook, line, and sinker. They'll be like, for £1,000, we will send you $10. I'm going to get that.
We had the thing where I used to do Groupon. I don't know if you have Groupon. It's like
a
buy-in thing, and every now and again they'll have like a 15 or 20% discount. So what I used to do is like I'd go and spend £200-300 on toilet roll and just buy it because it never goes off.
Yeah.
And then when COVID came in, I was the smart one because I already had a loft full of toilet roll. So it's genius plan. my wife actually put a photograph up on her Facebook going, this is not it's not a piss take, but seriously, if you're running out of toilet roll, just come and bang our door. We've got loads of it in the loft.
I had forgotten, like, during the COVID thing, that the whole toilet roll pull thing started.
Yeah. Just how weirdly selfish everyone got over certain items. It was like, we're all in it for ourselves.
It was like, what was the other thing that like disappeared? I can't remember what. Hand sanitizer disappeared off the shelf.
Yes, yeah.
I think in Canada they convicted that guy for buying and reselling. He had bought so much hand sanitizer or whatever, and then he was reselling it on eBay at a marked up price, like super marked up price. But he would go over to Costco and buy like all of it, all that he could, and to just like empty a shelf out or something like that. Yeah, but he ended up getting convicted of something.
I think eBay shut all those down, didn't they? I think. But do you remember when like parcels would come to your house and you'd be touching it with your elbows just in case? Because I don't know. See, my wife got COPD, so we had to be really careful. Because, even though she's in her 30s, it was one of those things that anything to do with her respiratory, it was like really weird. And we pulled our kids out of school before it even sort of happened.
Yeah.
And we're on a little island. We shouldn't have had any cases. Australia had like 3 people. And if they were caught with it, I think they shot them or something. I can't remember what they exactly did. But we were just like bringing people in. It's all right. You can come round. It was just really strange world. But thank God, I can link this back to VTTs. Thank God for VTT.
Oh I think
we'd have all gone absolutely mad with it. But like you're saying, we're saying about now you work from home.
Yeah.
I've always worked from home, and my wife's never worked because we've got 5 kids. So she's always brought up the family. Lockdown kicked in. My life never changed. We still just spent all day to get like 24 hours a day together. Other than I was on VTTs a little bit. It was. I quite liked the lockdown.
Yeah, I actually so from my perspective, because I had moved up to the farm like 2 years before COVID hit, right? 2 or 3 years before COVID hit, and I live out in the middle of. I mean, the closest store to me is a 15-minute drive, and it's just a little Dollar General, To go grocery shopping it's a 30 minutes for me to find a grocery store, right?
Wow.
And my closest neighbor is a mile away. It's a quarter mile away now, but was a mile away. And so when COVID hit, I was like, no one ever comes out here. I don't ever have to go into town. I mean, I don't have to worry about anything, right?
Yeah.
But the funny thing about the COVID, and I knew it was coming, right? So I was actually in Hong Kong the November before COVID hit the United States, right?
Yeah.
And when I came back, and I follow Chinese media all the time, right? And I noticed something crazy going on in Hong Kong. When I was this is crazy. Like everyone's going to the hospitals and stuff like that. What's going on? And there was just no public outcry, but you could see it all over the social media in China, right? And when I got back from, so I knew that there was some kind of thing, and I'm fairly well enough versed in history to know that there's been a constant assortment of, diseases flowing in and out of all the countries for thousands of years, right?
Yeah.
And,
Black Death, right,
yeah, it's fairly common. It's not uncommon at all, right? And anyway, so this was big. But when I got back from Hong Kong, I fell down sick. I was so sick I could barely move. And for the first time in my life, I thought I'm going to go to a hospital. Because I just laid in bed for like 6 days. And at day 7, I was just like, I'm taking myself to the hospital. I can't fucking move. I've lost like 30 pounds. I got to go see someone. And then I popped out of it that day. I was like, well, forget it. I'm not going to the hospital. But then I was like, holy cow. There's a disease that's going to come to America, because that's about the time they admitted that there was a problem. And I immediately went out. Immediately. So by the end of November, I was stocked up on gas masks, the N95 gas things, and I even bought an actual gas mask, tons of cleaning supplies, and stocked up on rice and food and stuff like that. So by the time it hit, I think it was January 21st was the first case in America. I can't remember. I think maybe it was February. I can't remember the dates. But I was always, like, I had all this stuff. And for about 2 weeks, I thought about it, and it's like, nothing's changing out here. Literally nothing. There's nothing in my life that has changed. Nothing. And no one out here did anything. No one cared. No one cared. Everyone just did their own thing. And so eventually I had so much stuff. I was like, forget that. I don't need all this crap around my house. I started giving it out. I was like, yeah, you guys need some masks? I got some masks.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife and I, we didn't get it. I've never had it. I've never had anything. But then,
I think I may have.
Yeah, my son did on his 18th birthday. Because we had that lockdown, and he went to watch one of the World Cup games with a load of his mates in a pub a couple of days beforehand. And obviously, it all came out that one of his mates actually had it, but he didn't tell anyone. So the whole pub got it. It was like a week later on his birthday. And obviously, because his mom's got COPD, we had to keep him away from him. So he was basically shut in his birthday in his bedroom on his 18th birthday. And we all sat in the garden. He was sat at the far end of the garden. His girlfriend came round. Nobody reported us because we'd have all gone to prison because she wasn't allowed around, because we couldn't even have people round then. It was like a really, when you just look back now and you think, wow, if aliens came down and we told them that we did this, they'd go, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. If you got any evidence, and we'll go,
have you got any evidence?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was. I say, but thank God for VTTs.
Yes, no VTTs.
See, but before lockdown, I had this massive board game collection. I'm a little bit of one of these switches where it's like I was saying about my whiskey collection.
Yeah,
I go quite heavily into collecting things, but during the whole of COVID, my wife, myself, none of the kids, we didn't play any board games. As soon as the lockdowns end, sold a lot. I don't own any board games now.
Really? All of them?
Because I was like, what's the point of owning stuff you're not going to use? So this is what I was saying about my shelves. The idea of my shelves, everything on my shelves is something that I would run, not play, run as a games master. Because if I want to play it, I don't need to keep it because they've got it. So I don't need to copy the book. And now, since my channel's kind of exploded a bit, I have more stuff coming in, I'm running out of space. Like I was moaning about that mothership box, which is just obnoxiously large. It's just annoying. It's beautiful, and the stuff in it is amazing, but I don't know how to put it.
Yeah,
real first world problems. These are.
Yeah, exactly. What's that? That reminds me of. So you and I have to, like, I have all these books, and the books here, books there, books there, books there, and I gave all my game books to my brother, and that's basically just for safekeeping, so they don't get destroyed. Okay, and then that closet's full of miniatures that has not been opened in 8 years, and I've got a 1,000 or 2,000 miniatures in there. This is like, I'll never pull out and play again, I don't think, and I'm trying to should I get rid of them? Should I sell them? Should I just leave them? Should I make a decision? But there was a lady from this again goes back to the Japanese thing. That lady from Japan, or that whole idea from Japan that it's the feng shui, right? But she had this thing on books, right? That you're bringing up those books made me think of her. She had this thing on books, right? Is that you should never, I think it was never have more than 5 books, right? Because you can't, there's no reason to have more than 5 books in your house. You know,
she's never role played.
I was, well, there was something about that. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. See, there's like a role players, like the whole gaming thing too, right? Is like you just collect. I don't know how many thousands of game books I've bought over the years. Yeah, so many game books I bought, and again, I treat them like trash. I read them. I would throw them around. Do whatever. I didn't. They weren't like I didn't collect. Okay. The only thing I ever collected was comics. And there's comics. Yeah. But the game books, just whatever. But the thousands of game books. And what do you do with all of them after a while? I mean, and you can't even use them. Another thing, like you said, you mentioned earlier, is that you have these campaigns that you'll never run, and all this information that you could never use. Though I suspect once you've read it, right, that it's somewhere stuck. Because do you find yourself like, blah, 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 you'll be sitting around thinking and something, and then suddenly, like a spark out of nowhere, you'll be like, oh, I remember in this book that I purchased back in 1995, somewhere in this chapter, there was this thing about an orc. And it's like, yeah, I'll pull on that, or you can go back to that book years later and you're like, yep, that's where it was, I'm going to pull on that right there. So all that information might just be stuck in your head somewhere, just waiting to come out.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I've gone quite weird. Obviously, being dyslexic, it's a slower process for reading. Mm-hmm. But since really focusing on this channel since March, I've managed to find that I can store one book in my head, only one book.
Really?
And that's what I do with the review. So basically what I do is I'll read a book, I'll then create some characters, have a little bit of a fight, because if you create a character and you have a combat, you can pretty much know a system.
Yep.
You don't know it fully, whether it's going to be totally brilliant or how broken it is, but you've got to gauge. And then I'll commit to camera and do my review. I'll then read the next thing, and everything that I knew is out of my head.
Really?
Not totally.
Yeah.
But so I have this issue when I'm a games master. So recently I was running Acton Cthulhu. It's Modifius 2D20, which very much is Marmite. People either love or hate that system, don't they? And on the Sunday when I was running it, because I was running it with my mates, I decided I picked up something else to start prepping for a review. And I got to that session as a games master on the Sunday, and I couldn't remember any of the rules. I knew it was you rolled 2d20. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm completely buggered. I'll just read this out. So thank you, Britt, for the £2. You're not having my mothership because that £2 doesn't cover the postage. So I think that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Now I'm not saying keep. Actually, no. If you go up to £65, I'll let you have it. So no, don't do that, because eBay will take a chunk of it off anyway, so I won't even get £65.
Yeah, I was gonna say eBay gets their like 20% cut, or
no, I think it's 40.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it's somewhere between 35 and 40. They take of the donations.
Yeah, I used to sell stuff on eBay, right? Yeah. When I traveled, I'd pick up stuff and then.
Oh no, sorry, eBay. I thought it meant YouTube. Yeah, eBay now is free as a seller.
Really?
Yeah, they've switched it. So if you list something for £20, the purchaser will spend something like £23. They've loaded all the fees the other way around.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I quit selling stuff on eBay. I'll show you an example of stuff that I would sell. Well, like this. Okay, it's a hand-carved geisha from Vietnam, right? And when I travel, I would pick up some really cool stuff and just turn around. I would sell them, not much of a profit, but enough. And then I was like, at a certain point, I was like, dude, I'm losing money on some of this stuff because by the time I pay shipping and the fees and all that kind of taxes and everything like that they were throwing on top of me, I was like, I'm losing money. So I just quit using eBay. And but that might make it worthwhile again to put. Not that I would, but
just as Britt said, you've got to keep it as a domestic, because once you go to professional, I think it's probably more than 300 items in a month, which I don't know. I don't know. So what's next? What have you got coming out over the next sort of few months for Castles and Crusades?
So we've got our releases. Exaltum's coming out, Infernum, but we were working on. So here's the exciting. Zagigs. Those will be. I don't know exactly where they are in the production schedule. I talked to Dan the other day. He showed me some of his notes, and I'm like, oh my god, pulling all that stuff together, like, what a thing. But we are working on Barsoom, the role-playing game. And that's the John Carter of Mars series. And I think Steve and I had a long discussion about it about a month ago. And we've kicked back we're going to run a Kickstarter. We've kicked that back to January, I think, January, February, because we really want to hone in on the rules, the look, and the feel for this game.
Yeah.
Because we both grew up reading Edgar Rice Burroughs and just love the John Carter series, Venus series, and want to be able to capture the whole excitement of that. So we kicked it back until we could really get our hands into it. But what else is coming out? I don't really, honestly.
Can we stay on John Carter for a second? I think we might have some kind. So what system are you going for? Are you going for a unique system, or are you going to sort of piggyback onto your...
We're going to piggyback onto Castles and Crusades, but we are going to mix, match, and do some different stuff. So if you get into CKG and look at how you can manipulate the rules without changing the basic prime, secondary attribute, the basic way that the game is run, we're going to be borrowing some rules from there and then creating unique sets and ways of dealing with things. Yeah. Because John Carter is not a high fantasy like thing. It's a different type of setting, so it will require a different approach. But it will still be the same siege engine. The siege engine will be the core of the game. Yeah, and that's that's the thing on that. The siege engine, that's the core of Castles and Crusades, and we call it the siege engine because it's an engine that you can use to run anything.
That makes sense now. Why there's the siege circle on the front?
Yeah,
on the new Reforged books, it says siege on there, isn't it? So
yeah. Yeah, so the whole game, so that's funny you mentioned, I didn't mention this before, the whole game runs on what's called the siege engine, and that's the basic prime attribute, the attribute system, primary, secondary, and attribute system, the check system for resolving any issue in a game. And we find that engine is basically, can be applied in a lot of different ways, all right? And you can put a lot of stuff on top of it to make it feel completely different. Depending on the place how you prefer.
Yeah, I'm looking for it because Modiphius they had it initially, didn't they? They had the John Carter.
Yes,
they did a 2D20 version. I don't think it did well. But then I know
it didn't do well in resales. I think their Kickstarter did okay or did pretty good. Now, the artwork in that book is really good. The layout's really, really good.
It was an odd-shaped book, though, as well, wasn't it? It was a square book, which I've got this. Right.
Yes.
This really annoyed me when it turned up because I did not know it was coming this shape. It doesn't fit on my A4 shelf. Doesn't fit on my A5 shelf.
No, it's a coffee table book, and I'm not sure that. It's not that I'm not sure. I'm fairly certain that coffee table books as role-playing games are not the way to go. I think. Yeah,
I'm totally with you. It's an abomination. That's what it is. I'm sure The contents look quite good. But,
the contents look good. Yes, yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of annoying. So that's coming Kickstarter January, you say? Hopefully for that.
Yeah, January, February timeframe like that. We're working out the details. We're sort of being particular about it because we like the book so much. Because it's sort of like our childhood dream. It's like if someone like I keep telling Steve that we should do Conan. Since it's open source at this point, no one owns it, right?
Right.
I know certain companies like claim ownership. I think Tencent is at the top of that ownership bracket, but at the end of the day, it's old enough now and no one's ever there's no estate that owns it. Like the Burroughs estate, they own Tarzan. You can't do Tarzan. Okay. They own it.
Yeah.
And now they also own a lot of that art. I think almost all the art used to represent Tarzan is owned by the estate.
Could you imagine how dull a Tarzan role-playing game would actually be?
You couldn't convert. Yeah. Oh, that's funny too. So when we first started playing, it's funny you mentioned Tarzan. So when we first started playing back in the day, my brother, this is how into Burroughs he was. He loved Tarzan. And so it's still to this day some of his favorite books ever. And his first character was named Tarzan. His first 13 characters were named Tarzan. And I think I killed all 13 of them in one run.
He's going to love you for this story.
Yeah. I think the first time, it may not have been the very first time we played, but it was close to the first time we played. Because again, I didn't know what I was doing, right? It was like, you're in this village and you go out. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, the Hobbit, what was the cool thing from a Hobbit? The great spiders. I was like, There's a thing of spiders. And he goes, attack the spiders. And they wrap you up in a web and they kill you. And then he goes, and I'm like, well, we're going to start over. And he goes, Tarzan #2 from the same village. And then after a while, it was like, I remember closing out the session when we're like, there's no adult males left in the village. You can't play another Tarzan. You've wiped out the entire population.
Did he go with the Tarzan the female?
Yeah, right. Jane. Yeah. I'm going to play Jane now.
It's like Simpsons with Santa's Little Helper. Whatever version of that cat they're on. Right. Oh no, the Santa's Little Helper was the dog, isn't it? It was the cat. What was the cat called that kept dying? I haven't watched Simpsons in years.
Yeah, I can't remember that stuff.
Again, I think that was a 90s thing. I haven't watched it. So sorry, what else was it you were after? Actually, someone has just thrown a really good idea up that I've just seen. Where's it gone? Here we go. Noble Shield. Castles Crusades, Conan.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would because who's it just done a version of it? They've just reprinted, haven't they?
Yeah, I can't remember who. I don't know. There was a Swedish company, I think.
This is really shameful because I own it and I can't remember who owns it. It begins with M, but I can't get Modiphius out of my head, and it's not Modiphius.
Do I have
Monolith? There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, Monolith. Yeah,
Monolith. Yeah, they own it.
Who had that? See, I don't have it on my reference table, so it's not. Anyway,
It's Conan's public domain, isn't he? I'd imagine it should be now. But I guess it's all to do with copywriting for the name and titles, isn't it? There's some other weird stuff that goes on with these that I found out talking to another game designer that you can't just because he did William MB has done some of the Conan adventures, and he says some of them are public domain,
yes,
others aren't. So you have to be careful which ones you try and license from.
Yeah, because I think it's a 75-year thing, and not everything that was published in Weird Tales or whatever is public domain at this point, but some of it is. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know which ones are. In fact, I do believe though, because I'm just.
Okay, yeah, Geek Preacher says it all depends on laws of different countries as well. So I think that's probably why we see Kickstarters they'll have different rules and worlds that they bring out. See, I'm with Jack McCarthy. I'm a far more Solomon Kane fan than I am Conan. I love Conan, don't get me wrong, but I completely love Solomon Kane, which it throws me back into the Warhammer Fantasy role playing. He's definitely of that era for me. It's that same sort of world.
Yeah, the Solomon Kane stories are really good. Have you read the original Red Sonja?
I don't think I have. It's one of those things that my reading has dropped off because I'm always reading role playing books now.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I really want to get back and read the whole of the Solomon Kane books. I kind of want to just go through them all in order.
The Solomon Kane books are really good, and Savage Splendor mentions Carl Edward Wagner's Kane was what he was talking about. Okay.
Oh, okay. As these things come out, I write all these things down for things to come back to, and I've got like a PDF, like a file in my computer of things that people have recommended for me to look at.
Okay, so again, I got it. German.
I'm glad you got trousers on. We finally see you've got trousers on.
Yeah. Okay, so this is it. Das Buch Kane. So this is how I taught myself German. I bought a German book of Kane. It's just like,
wow.
Went through it and got a dictionary. And taught myself German by reading a book.
Right.
But yes, the Kane books, especially if you like Solomon Kane.
Yeah,
Carl Edward Wagner's Kane will be right up your alley, and it's I don't know which one is the one with all the short stories. It's not Darkness Weaves, maybe it is, but I would start with that one, and then see if you can find the original Red Sonja, not the comic books or anything like that. There's a Red Sonja story, which I recall. It's been years since I've read it, but it was really, really good. And I think that Red Sonja, isn't she in like the 15th or 16th century? So it's the same time period as Solomon Kane. Yeah, I do believe.
Yeah. See, the one I've always wanted to see done, and I actually met him, and we approached him with a pitch, and he told us to get lost, was David Gemmel's Draenei series.
Mm-hmm.
And Gemmel always said in his lifetime, no one will ever make any third-party content from my stuff. And we basically wanted to make a role-playing stuff on him. We pitched it to him, and he basically told us to fuck off. In the politest way, because he was such a lovely man.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, you just think, I wonder whether once Stella's gone, once it drops down to the kids, money kicks in, doesn't it? So I'd love to see that kick in. I was ragging Henry Cavill because I think Henry Cavill would make a really good Druss.
Yes.
So and he's a big fan as well, but he didn't respond to me on Instagram either. I'm just not famous enough. Come on, Henry. Come on.
Get on his Twitter feed and just
if anyone can picture, he's the world's greatest nerd, isn't he?
I think he's done a lot more for the hobby than a host of other people have done for the hobby. But isn't he a big
He's massive into Warhammer.
Warhammer 40K, right?
40,000, yeah.
Yeah, that's his big thing. Who else? Does he play role playing at all? I can't remember if he does or not.
I don't know. I don't think he's never mentioned it. But
yeah,
when you get the people like Joe Manganiello and stuff that these larger than life people that we're not alone. We're not alone.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's pretty funny to see some of those people come out and say that they play games.
Yeah. What I would really like though one day is them coming out and talking about the other games they play as opposed to Dungeons and Dragons. Because you've got this probably 80-90% of the hobby is probably Dungeons and Dragons, and you've got a little bit of Pathfinder, and then there's there's you, and then there's just this drop off.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty significant. Yeah. It may even be D&D taking up 95. I don't really know the percentages. I haven't looked at them in years. But I think it's D&D, Pathfinder. Yeah, and then it's just a host of others. I don't even know how popular Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is anymore.
No, I don't know. Cubicle 7, I like pretty much everything they
Cthulhu, the Cthulhu game. That's another big one.
yeah, Chaos Sim with Cthulhu. Well, that's massive in Asia, isn't it? It's like Japan's favorite game. I think it's China's favorite game. Through Korea and stuff like that. Yeah, it's weird because I think we all like it, but I couldn't play Cthulhu for a long period of time. But it does have the two best when people talk about campaign settings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got the one on the train, which I can't remember. It's over my shoulder here, and then the thing of Natha Lepatep, the word I can't say. And that and the enemy within are always like, if you like top 10 of like campaign settings that people should play before they die, those are always ranked in it, aren't they? So.
Yeah, I would say, you know, it's funny, the enemy within, I would probably put it as the number one, because everything about that just came out right, I think. Not only did the art match the text and the rules, the layout was good, everything was really, really good. It's a high bar to cross, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because when you play it, people suddenly realize that you cannot do this through violence.
Yes,
there is a little bit of violence in it, and there'll be some killing, but most of it is going to be role playing, and you're going to have to sit down and actually sort of talk to people and stuff.
You have to engage. You have to engage with the setting.
Yeah,
and not engage with the rules. So
yeah. So what else have you got coming? I cut you off to get you back to talk about.
I don't know. I've got to see if I can find my upcoming list. I should have preambled this whole conversation with us. I don't really know a whole lot. Sometimes it'll be inaccurate, and I forget a whole lot.
Yeah, I think it made me laugh when just before we put the cameras on, and we sort of got into what questions, and I was like, here's my note.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's your name, how to pronounce it phonetically, and the company you work for. That's the notes I make for interviews. So,
well, I deleted my release schedule, so I don't even know. Steve sends it to me every week, so I'll look it over, and then I just delete it. So I don't wait for him to send it to me again. But I know we have Barsoom coming out, or we're going to start the Kickstarter for that. I know that Exaltum and Infernum should be released next week, and those are demons and devils and angels.
Ooh, that's something you don't get many demons and devils and angels. Is it a source book or a completely new game?
No, it's a source book.
For Castles and Crusades.
Yeah, for Castles and Crusades. It's called.
I need to pre-order this.
Yeah, it's called Codex Infernum and Codex Exaltum. It's two different books. So Exaltum is angelic features, and Infernum is demonic and devilish creatures. And we embrace the evil. Okay, yeah. We just love the evil in the Infernum, and we embrace the good in the Exaltum.
It's one of those settings that just isn't used enough. The whole, Archangel Michael and all that lot, and fights with Lucifer. I'm not a religious person, but it's my favorite part of the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
Like, getting into angels and devils fighting and stuff. I just find it really fascinating.
No, it is. Yeah, it's one of those things that it's touchy. So I sort of kiboshed a very, very, very long time ago, dealing with, and I've had to back down on it, but dealing with any extant forms of worship and representations of that worship in like role playing, right? From Hindu, Christianity, Judaism, anything that's currently. But then, like at a certain point, I realized some of this shit's really cool, and some of this is I mean, if you started excluding it, you wouldn't have anything to say. You could say nothing.
Yeah.
But some of it's so cool. You know, the stories are so cool. And the whole angels and devil things, when you really get into the meat of that stuff, is so cool that, yeah, it needs to be represented.
Yeah, there's been a few games over the years. I can't think of one. I know Cult kind of leans into it, but there was one that we played, and it was really good lore and backstory into the angels and archangels and devils. The system was appalling. It was like a 90s game. It as in it wasn't playable.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's one of those that I've been looking for a long time. It's kind of sad because I've started writing my own Angels and Devils game.
Oh, really?
Because as I say, if you can't find what you want,
yes,
make it yourself. So that is the theme of the game that I'm actually working on in a dark. It's for a Shadow Dark setting. And,
now I think that's actually a really cool idea. So this has come around in the company a few times, and I don't think it's anything we have on the table. But this would be cool, where you're playing either an angel or a demon, right? And you get into those fights, the angel and demon fights.
Yeah,
would be where you're playing like a godlike figure, you know, and you're going at it. That would be a really cool. That would be cool. Yeah. Boy, that would be hard to pull off in a game, though.
It would. It's. Ooh, what was the? I think Scion would have. That was very similar to it, wasn't it? Which was.
Yes.
I think Scion was White Wolf, but you played sons and daughters of very powerful gods and demons and devils and stuff. But yeah, because White Wolf did some really wonderful things with their background into Vampire the Masquerade, linking it to Kane and like the Book of Nod. I know. You've never really played it, but I can remember reading the Book of Nod on a train, and I was at uni at the time, and I was going to see my girlfriend who was at a different uni. I was just sat on the train, just reading this book, and I was like, "Whoa, this is actually how they've managed to link the Bible history into a fantasy world, but it still feels real and alive." It's like really clever the way they did it.
Yeah, I think the way they pulled all of the vampire together. Like I said, I never played, I never LARPed it or played it or anything like that. Right? I read some of it, not all of it, but I thought, wow. And didn't they come out with like family books or something like that?
I don't know.
I can't remember all but I was like, wow, the lore behind some of this is really, really, really cool. Yeah. That and the way people dress, I was like, that was really cool. But
I never dressed up, so it's all right. I didn't put the false teeth in. It's all right.
Yeah.
You don't have to hate me.
I don't know if vampire propelled the goth movement forward, or the goth movement was what propelled vampire forward. I don't really know how that juncture.
I think it was the perfect synergy, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think the timing for both was just perfect. So
yeah. And then obviously, Vampire Lestat came, not Vampire Lestat, Interview with a Vampire.
Interview with a Vampire.
There was, it all, and then Twilight came out, and we were like, now we've gone off vampires. Now we prefer pirates, and because of Jack Sparrow. So
yeah, exactly. Well, wait, but okay, so. What was the last vampire thing you mentioned?
Twilight.
Twilight. So you take vampires from when I was growing up to ugly, hideous, blood-sucking, demonic figure killing people, to now this lovely young man. Just like, what are we doing here? What have we done here?
Yeah.
Where did my vampire go? It all went away.
Nah. I think I remember reading it and debating it with my wife, but when they talk about female fantasy sort of, not genres, but apparently vampires and pirates are normally within the top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it was, the perfect mix for the 90s and 2000s.
You've mixed romance with that. Who was I talking to the other day? Publishing. Del Rey. I was reading a history of Del Rey, and the women, bringing women into fantasy literature and how they brought women into fantasy literature, which is really insidious, but it worked. So, but yeah, pirates, vampires, and pirates, vampires, and romance was what brought women into fantasy literature, and it worked well. And I was unaware how well it worked because Del Rey's wife, she was the one who ran that whole marketing and figuring out the whole thing. I think she said it was like 40% of their market in the 80s was female readership or something like that. Which is really, really high much higher than I thought for the fantasy.
Yeah. So Agile Sen, the two books, Codex Inferium Skirmishes and Codex Exalted Skirmishes, have been combined into Skirmishes Heaven and Hell PDF.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for keeping track of what I'm supposed to know.
This is you on the finger of the pulse of your business.
Yeah, I'm over here. Yeah, my brother's always asking me, "What are you doing today?" I'm like,
I'm drinking a bourbon and smoking cigars.
Yeah, right. I'm on the veranda.
You're sewing your socks back together.
Yeah. I'm sitting out front darning my socks.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've sat there beside a campfire sitting there. I remember this particular set of socks I love so much. They were red, 100% Agora wool or something that I picked up in Switzerland. They were so warm and so comfortable, right? I didn't care how cold it was outside. I could walk around in these socks in the snow, and I loved them so much. I remember the last time I was out where was I? Southern Colorado in the, what is that mountain range by Silverton?
Why are you asking me? I live in England.
Sitting by my fire, sewing up my socks because I had a little hole in the heel. I was like, I'm going to make these last another year. They got to last another year. Anyway.
I'm going to be Googling that once we finish. So I've got Carl Edward Wagner, Red Sanya, and then your Codex books to buy.
Yeah. What's another good book? Okay. No, I think that'll do it. Yeah, Carl Edward.
There you go. See, look, mini war mutt new San Juan Mountains.
Yeah. San Juan Mountains.
I know I'd mispronounced that. I probably should have stopped.
Yeah, if you go I remember where I was. I was just east of Silverton up in the mountains and I just hit that 14er that was down there. It was by that campfire. I'll remember that night perfectly. I remember those red socks. Anyway.
No, amazing. Oh, this has been amazing. I think they were right. I should have had you on far earlier, and I should have read your book earlier as well. So, with my shame, I think we need to wrap, really. Because
okay.
Heading late and sorting dogs out. But it's
been amazing. This has been fun. Yeah.
No, I'm definitely going to have you back on. And what we need next time is more stories about your brother, because I think that Tarzan story is going to make him quite infamous now from here. He's not going to like you. There's a comment up that someone implied that we're going to basically get you both on to have a brothers fighting thing on the channel.
Oh yeah, you should. I'll talk my brother into it. If you get us both on at the same time, that would be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, no, amazing. If you want to try and do it when the new Kickstarter's going, we can talk about that and the.
When we get the Barsoom, we'll wrap up like the dates on the Barsoom, and when we get it going, if you want, I would be glad to, and I know I can talk them into it.
Get Grace to drop me the times and stuff, and we'll sort it out from there.
Okay, I can make him do it. I can just threaten him, say, "Well, I'm not going to write anything." Then he'll say, "Well, I'm just not going to pay you."
I just got this image of you just putting cigars and whiskey on expenses now, and socks, obviously.
All I have to do, I can put anything on an expense if I go on a trip, as long as I stop by a single game store. All I have to do is stop by a game store, sign a book, or do something like that. I can turn it into a whole business expense.
So we've got to ask him about the Tarzan jacket. So
Oh yeah, his Tarzan jacket. I forgot about that. Oh yeah. And his eagle T-shirt. What else did that come? His pink comb. Yeah, we should do. He used to try to get into fights, right? And so, and this is in the '80s, early '80s. So he would. For those of you who don't, or maybe were around, they were called pick combs. I think the big, really big flat cones with the big teeth, and it would be like whatever color. He would carry a pink one or a green one and put in his back pocket, so people would make fun of him and he could get in a fight with. Little bastard. Anyway.
Yeah. Sounds like the troublesome one.
Yeah, he was
Yeah. No, fantastic, David. It's actually been amazing catching up with you and meeting you for the first time. For everyone else, thank you for your comments. Looks like we're going to be doing this early next year. So when Autumn comes out. So enjoy the rest of your day. Drink plenty of whiskey, smoke cigars, fix yourself.
It's like a perfect day. A bottle of whiskey, a cigar, fixing my socks by a fire. What could you ask?
I know you're a little bit older than me. I don't think much, but you now are exactly where I want to be in my life when I get to your age. I think that's just that having a company with a functioning brother.
Yeah, right.
And then just drinking the profits away.
Yeah, there you go. Drink the profits away. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Hell yeah. I mean, like you said, how much longer we got on this thing? So
Exactly. We're not going to finish our games off. Finish off our bottles.
Yeah, no. What did I see? I saw a interview with Billy Bob Thornton, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And he's getting on up there, and he realizes it. And he was like explaining to the interviewer, he's like, "Look, if someone told me like I had some cancer or something like that today, I'd be out. I would just head out and eat Takis and go to McDonald's every day because it tastes good. So I'm not going to waste my life not enjoying it."
Yeah, I've done exactly the same with my whiskey collection. It's like if I have a finite amount of months left, I'm just drinking them.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
I'm just going to go out as that really drunk and annoying dad. To the stage where the kids are going to have to come around going, "That's our inheritance," you know. And I'm like,
Yeah, right.
Perfect plan.
No, memories of me being drunk's your inheritance. Get on.
Yeah, it's a good one. So thank you for all the amazing comments. It's been really good tonight. And
having a good time.
Yeah. Thank you, Davis. Again, thanks for coming on, and Grace, thanks for putting it together. And we'll see you in the new year after Christmas.
All right, sounds good.
Cheers, then. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.